The Imperial scout vessel Vigilant drifted silently through the empty region of space. Captain Dex stared at the viewscreen with growing frustration. This area, dubbed the Void by Imperial cartographers, showed no signs of habitable planets, resources, or anything of value to the mighty galactic empire. "Nothing again, sir," reported Officer Toll from the sensor station. "No energy signatures, no artificial structures, not even asteroid fields worth mining." Dex sighed. "Make another sweep. The Emperor doesn't send scouts to uncharted regions without reason." The Vigilant continued its mission for 3 more cycles, documenting nothing but empty space. As they prepared to return to Imperial space, Officer Toll suddenly straightened in his chair. "Captain, I'm detecting something unusual at the edge of our sensor range." Dex moved quickly to the station. "What is it?" "I'm not sure, sir. Some kind of space distortion. It doesn't match any known natural phenomenon." Dex's antennae twitched with interest. "Send the coordinates to Imperial Command. Request permission to investigate." Permission arrived quickly. The Empire was always hungry for new discoveries that might expand its already vast territory. The Vigilant adjusted course toward the anomaly, unaware they were being washed. 3 cycles later, the Imperial research vessel Discovery approached the same coordinates. Its mission was simple: investigate the strange readings and determine if they represented a threat or opportunity for the Empire. "Sensors at maximum range," Commander Frill ordered. "I want to know what happened to the Vigilant *." The research vessel was better equipped than the scout ship, with advanced scientific instruments and a small security detail. They approached the anomaly cautiously, recording everything. "Sir, the distortion is increasing in size," the science officer reported. It's not natural. I believe it may be artificial." Commander Frill's eyes narrowed. "Artificial? Are you suggesting intelligent design?" "Yes, sir. The pattern is too regular, too." The officer never finished his sentence. Without warning, the viewscreen filled with blinding light. The ship shuddered violently. Emergency alarms blared throughout the vessel. "We're under attack," shouted the security chief. "Unknown weapons fire." Commander Frill struggled to maintain order as systems failed around him. "Send emergency signal to Imperial Command. We've encountered hostile." The transmission cut off as the Discovery disappeared in a cloud of superheated plasma. Emperor Dorn was not pleased. 2 ships lost in the same region of space was not a coincidence. His golden-scaled hand tightened around the arm of his throne. "Send a research flotilla," he commanded, "heavily armed. I want to know what's happening in this void immediately." High Admiral Kern bowed low. "As you command, Your Magnificence." 1 month later, the Imperial Research Flotilla, 5 heavily armed science vessels, and 3 military escorts approached the edge of the void. Fleet Commander Jax took no chances, keeping the ships in tight formation with shields at maximum. "All vessels report battle readiness," his second-in-command announced. "Good," Jax replied. "Begin systematic sensor sweeps off." "Sir," multiple energy signatures appearing out of nowhere. They were completely invisible until now. Jax spun toward the tactical display. Where moments before had been empty space, dozens of unknown vessels now appeared, surrounding the Imperial flotilla. "Impossible," he whispered. "Nothing can hide from Imperial sensors." Before he could issue orders, a transmission cut through all Imperial communication channels. A human face, a species unknown to the Empire, appeared on screen. Admiral James Walker looked calmly at the Imperial commander. "This is Admiral Walker of the Earth Defense Fleet. Your Empire has conquered and enslaved peaceful species across this galaxy for long enough. We've been watching. We've been waiting. And now, we're done hiding." Commander Jax found his voice. "You face the might of the Galactic Empire. Surrender immediately or—" Walker cut him off. "No, you face humanity now." At his command, The human vessels opened fire. Their weapons cut through Imperial shields like they weren't even there. Precision strikes disabled engines and weapons systems without destroying the vessels completely. In less than 10 minutes, the battle was over. The Imperial flotilla lay crippled and helpless. Walker gave one final order. Let one ship escape. They need to carry our message. The smallest Imperial vessel found its engines suddenly operational again. It didn't hesitate, jumping to faster-than-light speed, carrying news that would shake the Empire to its core. Humanity had emerged from hiding, and the Empire would soon learn what true fear felt like. Emperor Dorn's roar echoed through the vast throne room. His massive, scaled form rose from the golden throne, eyes blazing with fury as the holographic report concluded. Impossible, he snarled, smashing his fist against the armrest. An entire flotilla defeated by an unknown species hiding in empty space. High Admiral Kern stood rigidly at attention, trying not to flinch as the Emperor's rage filled the chamber. The remaining advisors and court officials kept their heads bowed, not daring to make eye contact. The surviving vessel's data is clear, Your Magnificence, Kern said carefully. This species, they call themselves humans, possesses technology we have never encountered before. The Emperor stalked down from his throne, his massive tail dragging across the polished floor. Show me their ships again. The hologram flickered to life in the center of the room. It displayed sleek vessels of unusual design, no visible engine ports, no conventional weapon mounts, and a dark material that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Analysis suggests their hull composition is unknown to our material scientists, explained Chief Intelligence Officer Mox, stepping forward with a data tablet. More concerning is their apparent ability to remain completely undetectable until they choose to reveal themselves. Emperor Dorn circled the hologram, studying the human vessels with growing rage, and though he would never admit it, a touch of fear. And you say they mentioned watching us? For how long? Unknown, Your Magnificence, Mox replied. But the implication is they've been observing Imperial expansion for some time, possibly years. The Emperor stopped pacing. I will not tolerate this insult. If these humans have been watching us, then they know the price of defying the Empire. He turned to High Admiral Kern. Prepare Battle Group Vengeance. Commander Vex will lead the response. I want these humans taught the most painful lesson possible. Commander Vex stood on the bridge of the Imperial Dreadnought Asterisk, Inevitable Conquest Asterisk, the flagship of Battle Group Vengeance. 12 Imperial warships formed up around him, the largest rapid response force the Empire could assemble on short notice. Vex had risen quickly through Imperial ranks, known for his ruthless efficiency in crushing resistance on frontier worlds. The Emperor himself had noticed his tactics during the subjugation of the Telnar system. This mission would cement his reputation and likely earn him promotion to the Admiralty. All ships report ready, Commander, his first officer announced. Vex nodded, his thin lips curling into a smile. Set course for the void. Maximum speed. As the battle group accelerated to faster-than-light travel, Vex reviewed the footage from the defeated flotilla again. These humans had caught the Empire by surprise once. It would not happen again. 4 days later, Battle Group Vengeance arrived at the coordinates where the research flotilla had been attacked. Vex had prepared thoroughly, distributing new tactical protocols to all ships. Wide-spectrum sensor suites ran continuously. Fighter squadrons flew patrol patterns around the larger vessels. No sign of the human ships, Commander, reported the sensor officer. They're here, Vex said confidently, hiding in their cloaking technology. He moved to the communications station. Broadcast on all frequencies, standard language packet first, then Imperial Common. The officer nodded, and Vex spoke clearly. Attention human forces. This is Commander Vex of the Imperial Battle Group Vengeance. Your unprovoked attack on Imperial vessels constitutes an act of war against the Galactic Empire. Surrender immediately, and you will be granted the mercy of a quick execution. Resist, and your worlds will burn. You have 1 standard hour to respond. Silence followed. Vex hadn't expected immediate surrender, but the complete absence of response irritated him. Continue sensor sweeps, he ordered. Prepare all weapons systems. The minutes ticked by slowly. As they approached the 1-hour deadline, the tactical officer suddenly straightened. Commander, energy readings appearing all around us. Massive power signatures materializing from nowhere. The main view screen shifted to show space seeming to ripple and distort. Where there had been nothing, dozens of human vessels now appeared, surrounding the Imperial battle group completely. How many? Vex demanded, maintaining his composure despite his shock. 53 ships detected. The tactical officer replied, voice wavering. More than 4 times our number, and some are larger than the Conquest *. Before Vex could issue orders, a communication request came through. On the screen appeared Captain Eliza Reed of the human flagship Defiance *. Her expression was calm and confident. Commander Vex, she said simply, we received your message. Here's our answer. The screen went dark, and then the void lit up with fire as humanity's war fleet launched its attack. The Empire was about to learn that its reign of terror across the galaxy had finally met its match. Part 3. The First Battle. Commander Vex had faced many battles in his rise through Imperial ranks. He had crushed rebellions, subjugated peaceful worlds, and destroyed those who resisted. But nothing had prepared him for this. Evasive maneuvers. He shouted as the first barrage of human weapons fire streaked toward the Imperial formation. All ships, return fire. The Imperial Dreadnought Inevitable Conquest shuddered as its massive engines pushed it into a defensive turn. Around it, the other Imperial warships broke formation, attempting to create a fighting retreat. But the humans had planned for this. Captain Eliza Reed stood calmly on the bridge of the Defiance *, her vessel's holographic displays showing the battle unfolding in 3 dimensions around her. Unlike the rigid command structures of the Empire, Reed's bridge was a hub of coordinated activity, with officers calling out information and suggestions freely. They're attempting to form a defensive sphere, her tactical officer noted. Standard Imperial doctrine when outnumbered. Reed nodded. Deploy Phase 2. Around the battlefield, smaller human ships suddenly accelerated to impossible speeds, darting between the larger Imperial vessels. These strike craft were piloted by the best human pilots, flying ships that no Imperial engineer would have thought possible. What in the Emperor's name are those? Vex's tactical officer gasped as the small ships zipped past their sensors. The answer came immediately as the strike craft unleashed precisely targeted attacks on the Imperial ship's engine nacelles and weapon ports. They weren't trying to destroy the vessels outright. They were systematically disabling them. Sir, the Relentless and Subjugator report critical engine failures. Vex's communications officer reported, panic edging into his voice. The Dominion has lost weapons control. Vex gripped the command rail tightly. This was not how Imperial battles were supposed to go. The Empire overwhelmed, conquered, destroyed. They did not get outmaneuvered by unknown species. Target their smaller ships, he ordered. Full power to the main batteries. The Inevitable Conquest massive weapons systems locked onto one of the human strike craft and fired. The energy beam should have vaporized the small vessel instantly. Instead, the beam seemed to bend around the ship, dissipating harmlessly into space. Impossible. Vex hissed. On the Defiance Reed watched as the battle unfolded exactly as their simulations had predicted. The deflection shields are working perfectly, her chief engineer reported with pride. Dr. Bell's design is holding against their heaviest weapons. Reed allowed herself a small smile. Thomas Bell had revolutionized human defense technology with his discovery of energy deflection fields, shields that didn't just absorb enemy fire, but redirected it away harmlessly. "Begin targeting their command vessels," she ordered. "Let's show them our new offensive capabilities." The Defiance and 3 other human battleships moved into position, their forward sections beginning to glow with building energy. "What are they doing?" Vex demanded as his sensor officers reported the power buildup. He got his answer moments later when beams of concentrated blue energy lanced out from the human ships. Unlike traditional energy weapons, these beams passed straight through Imperial shields as if they weren't there, slicing precisely through the outer hulls of 3 Imperial vessels. Direct hit on their weapons systems, Reed's tactical officer reported. 3 Imperial warships neutralized. The battle continued for 20 more minutes, but the outcome was never in question. The human forces moved with precision and coordination that the Imperial fleet couldn't match. One by one, the mighty warships of Battle Group Vengeance were disabled or destroyed. Vex stood in stunned silence as reports of failure flooded in from all sides. His perfect record, his rise to power, all of it was crumbling around him. "Sir," his first officer said quietly, "7 of our ships are disabled. 3 have been destroyed. The remaining 2 are reporting critical damage. We cannot win this battle." Vex's face hardened. "Prepare a data package of everything we've learned about their tactics and technology. Encode it for direct transmission to Imperial Command. And then, sir, then we ensure this information reaches the Emperor, no matter the cost." Vex activated the ship-wide communication system. "All hands, prepare for emergency jump. Divert all remaining power to engines and communications." As the Inevitable Conquest and 1 other damaged vessel broke away, the human ships allowed them to escape. Reed could have ordered their destruction, but she deliberately held back. "Let them go," she ordered. "Let them tell the Emperor what happened here today." The battle was over. The first true test of humanity against the Empire had ended in decisive victory. But Reed knew this was just the beginning. On Imperial worlds across the galaxy, the news would soon spread. For the first time in centuries, the Empire had been defeated in open battle, and a new power had emerged from the void. Part 4, The Human Revelation. 30 years before the first battle with the Empire, the human exploration vessel Pioneer drifted silently at the edge of an unknown star system. Captain Robert Davis watched in horror through the ship's telescopes as Imperial warships bombarded a peaceful world from orbit. The Pioneer had stumbled upon the Empire's expansion by accident, witnessing the brutal conquest of the gentle Eralan people. "We need to help them," his first officer had urged. "With what?" Davis had replied grimly. "1 ship against that fleet. We'd be destroyed before we could fire a single shot." Instead, Davis made a decision that would shape humanity's future. The Pioneer returned to Earth with detailed records of what they had witnessed, along with captured Imperial transmissions and sensor data. Now, in the aftermath of humanity's first victory against the Empire, Admiral James Walker stood before the gathered fleet commanders in the war room of Earth's orbital command station. Behind him, a holographic display showed the retreating Imperial vessels. "They'll be back," Walker said simply, "and in greater numbers." The room fell silent. These officers knew the truth of humanity's situation better than anyone. For decades, Earth and its colonies had hidden in plain sight, developing technology and building their forces in secret. "Admiral," began Commander Trent from Jupiter Command, "perhaps it's time to tell the younger officers why we chose this moment to reveal ourselves. Many of them don't understand the full history." Walker nodded gravely. The massive viewscreen changed to show images of dozens of alien worlds, all devastated by Imperial conquest. "For those who don't know the full story, humanity has been watching the Empire for 30 years, Walker explained. "When we first discovered them, they were already a terror in this part of the galaxy. We made a choice then, to hide our existence while we prepared." Dr. Thomas Bell, an older man with sharp eyes and quick movements, stepped forward. As the architect of humanity's technological revolution, his opinion carried immense weight. The Empire's technology was more advanced than ours when we found them, Bell explained. But they'd grown complacent. Their scientific progress had slowed. They conquered rather than innovated. He gestured to a display showing the evolution of human ships over 3 decades, from bulky conventional designs to the sleek, advanced vessels they now commanded. We took a different path, Bell continued. We developed technologies the Empire never considered possible. Stealth systems that bend light and energy around our ships. Deflection shields instead of absorption barriers. Weapons that bypass conventional defenses. Walker moved to another display, showing a map of known space with highlighted regions. But our greatest advantage isn't our technology, he said. It's what the Empire doesn't know about us. The map zoomed out, revealing dozens of human colonies spread across supposedly empty regions of space, all hidden from Imperial sensors by the same technology that concealed their ships. While they thought the void was empty, we built an entire civilization within it, Walker explained. And we weren't just developing weapons. The display changed again, showing footage of human ships rescuing survivors from Imperial attacks, evacuating endangered species, and establishing hidden refuges. For 20 years, we've been saving who we could, Walker said quietly, building alliances, preparing for this moment. The room's atmosphere changed as images appeared of alien refugees working alongside humans on colony worlds, training with human military forces, and integrating their own unique technologies with human designs. The Empire believes they face only humanity, Bell added. They don't realize we united with 17 other species they thought they had conquered or destroyed. Commander Trent stood. And that's why we chose now to reveal ourselves. Because the Alliance is ready. Walker nodded. Our intelligence network reports the Empire is planning a major expansion campaign. Dozens more worlds would fall. We couldn't wait any longer. The Admiral moved to the center of the room, his expression resolute. Make no mistake, the battle we just won was merely the opening move. The Empire will marshal forces beyond anything we've seen. They will come with everything they have. And we'll be ready, Bell said confidently. Walker looked around at the faces of his commanders, human and alien alike. For 30 years, we've hidden in the shadows, watching the Empire's cruelty spread across the stars. We've rescued the broken, sheltered the hunted, and prepared for this day. He straightened his uniform, determination in his eyes. The waiting is over. Operation Phantom Dawn is now in effect. Humanity and our allies will stand against the darkness, and the Empire will learn that their reign of terror has come to an end. ## Part 5. The Grand Fleet advances. Emperor Dorn's war chamber hummed with tense activity. Holograms displayed star charts, fleet positions, and battle simulations, while Imperial officers and strategists hurried across the vast room with data tablets. At the center stood a massive 3-dimensional projection of the region, now known as human space. Unacceptable, the Emperor growled, his clawed hand slashing through the hologram. 2 defeats. My empire has not suffered such humiliation in 3 centuries. High Admiral Kern bowed low. Your Magnificence, we have assembled the Grand Fleet as ordered. 500 warships, including 15 dreadnoughts and 30 heavy cruisers. The Emperor's eyes narrowed. And who will command this fleet? Not Vex, the failure. No, Your Magnificence. Kern straightened. I recommend Grand Admiral Thorn. The name sent a ripple through the chamber. Thorn was a legend in the Empire. A commander who had conquered 17 star systems without a single defeat. For the past decade, he had served as the Empire's chief military strategist, rarely leaving the Imperial homeworld. Thorn, the Emperor repeated, considering. Yes, bring him. Grand Admiral Thorn was unlike most Imperial officers, where others were loud and boastful. Thorn was quiet and methodical. His gray scales showed his age, but his eyes remained sharp as he studied the battle footage from the human encounters. Fascinating, he murmured, replaying the movements of the human strike craft. They don't fight like any species we've encountered. For 3 days, Thorne locked himself in the war room, analyzing every second of the battles, examining every scan of human technology. When he finally emerged, he requested an audience with the Emperor. "These humans are dangerous," Thorne stated without preamble when he stood before Emperor Dorn. "More dangerous than any species we faced." The Emperor frowned. "You fear them." "I respect them," Thorne corrected. "They've been watching us, learning our tactics, while developing technologies specifically designed to counter our strengths." "Can they be defeated?" the Emperor demanded. Thorne nodded slowly. "Yes, but not with conventional Imperial tactics. I will need to make changes to our fleet composition and battle doctrine." "Whatever you need," the Emperor said. "I want these humans broken, their worlds burned, their survivors enslaved." Thorne bowed. "It shall be done, Your Magnificence." For the next 2 weeks, Grand Admiral Thorne transformed the Imperial Grand Fleet. New weapons were installed to counter human stealth technology. Battle formations were redesigned. Command structures were flattened to allow for faster responses. Finally, the day came. Standing on the bridge of the Imperial flagship Eternal Dominion Thorne gave the order. "All ships, prepare for jump. Operation Extinction begins now." 500 Imperial warships vanished into faster-than-light travel, bound for the edge of human space. Deep within a hidden asteroid base, Human Intelligence Officer Rena Martin received the alert from their spy network. She rushed the data to Admiral Walker immediately. "They're coming," she reported, displaying the fleet movements on the command center's main screen. 500 ships, led by Grand Admiral Thorne himself. Walker studied the information, his face grim. "So the Emperor is taking us seriously now." He turned to his communications officer. "Send the alert to all systems. Begin evacuation of border colonies immediately. Activate all defense grids." Throughout human space, the warning spread. Civilians boarded transport ships, heading for the safety of core worlds. Military vessels moved into pre-planned positions. Hidden weapon platforms powered up. Dr. Bell entered the command center, his team of engineers trailing behind him. "The new defense systems are ready," he reported, "but they're untested against a force this size." Walker nodded. "We knew this day would come. Initiate Operation Phantom Dawn. Phase 2. Throughout human territory, stealth satellites activated, creating a network of sensors that would track every movement of the Imperial fleet. "What about our allies?" asked Commander Trent. "Already notified," Walker replied. "The Aralan ships are moving into position near Proxima. The Telmar defense forces are standing by in the Epsilon sector." Walker moved to the center of the command room, addressing all present. "This is what we've prepared for. The Empire thinks they're launching a surprise attack, but we'll be ready for them at every turn." He looked at the tactical display showing the approaching Imperial Armada. "They expect to find colonies to burn and civilians to terrorize. Instead, they'll find empty space and hidden traps. For every system they push through, we'll bleed them. For every victory they claim, we'll make them pay in ships and lives." The command staff stood straighter, determination on their faces. "Let Thorne come with his grand fleet," Walker said firmly. "Let the Empire throw everything they have against us. Operation Phantom Dawn isn't just a defense plan. It's the beginning of the Empire's end." As the Imperial fleet approached the border of human space, both sides prepared for a conflict that would change the galaxy forever. The Empire sought conquest, as it always had. But humanity and its allies fought for something stronger: freedom. The greatest battle in galactic history was about to begin. Grand Admiral Thorne stood motionless on the bridge of the Eternal Dominion as the Imperial Grand Fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel. Before them lay the first human colony world on their invasion path, or rather, where that world should have been. "Sensors confirm, Admiral," reported his first officer. "The planet is here, but all signs of civilization are gone. Thorne's eyes narrowed. The colony's cities, spaceports, and defense installations have been completely removed, leaving only empty plains and mountains. They evacuated, Thorne observed, completely and efficiently. Not even scrap metal remains. A cowardly retreat, sneered Sub-Commander Farks. They feared our approach. Thorne fixed the younger officer with a cold stare. No, this was planned well in advance. They knew we were coming and left nothing for us to destroy. He turned back to the tactical display. Proceed to the next system. Maintain alert status. Over the next 4 days, the pattern repeated. System after system showed signs of recent evacuation. No humans remained to conquer, no infrastructure to destroy, no resources to claim. The Grand Fleet pushed deeper into human territory, meeting no resistance. Emperor Dorn was not pleased. His holographic image glowered at Thorne during their daily communication. "You promised me victories, Admiral," the Emperor hissed. "Yet you sent reports of empty worlds and no battles. The humans are implementing a strategy of denial. Your Magnificence," Thorne explained. I want results." The Emperor roared. "Find their forces, destroy their worlds, show them the Empire's power." The transmission ended abruptly. Thorne stood quietly for a moment, then turned to his tactical officer. "Increase our advance speed. The Emperor demands progress." As the Imperial fleet accelerated its push toward the core of human territory, strange things began to happen. Supply ships at the rear of the formation disappeared without warning. Scout vessels failed to report back. Communication relays between systems suddenly stopped working. Guerrilla attacks. Thorne concluded after reviewing the reports. They're targeting our support structure while avoiding direct confrontation. He adjusted the fleet formation, assigning more warships to protect supply lines. But the attacks continued, growing bolder and more frequent. Then came the first real battle. The Arcturus Junction was a key navigational point, where several faster-than-light routes converge. Thorne had divided his fleet, sending a third of his ships to secure this strategic location. As the Imperial vessels approached, sensors detected a small group of human ships waiting at the junction. "Only 20 vessels," reported the Imperial commander. "We outnumber them 8-1. The Imperial force moved in for an easy victory, exactly as the humans planned. Captain Neil Parker watched from the bridge of the human destroyer Thunderbolt as the Imperial ships formed their attack pattern. "They've taken the bait," he reported to Admiral Walker through a secure channel. "All ships in position." Walker's voice came through clearly. "Execute." Parker gave the order. "All ships, activate Ghost Fleet." Around the human vessels, space itself seemed to ripple and tear. Where there had been empty vacuum, hundreds of warships suddenly appeared, the true strength of humanity's Arcturus defense force. "By the Emperor," gasped the Imperial commander as his sensors registered the new arrivals. "It's a trap." The battle erupted with staggering violence. Human vessels darted between the larger Imperial ships, firing precision strikes at engines and weapon systems. Imperial commanders tried to coordinate, but their communications were being jammed by hidden human satellites. And then came the boarding parties. Commander Marcus Reed led the Special Forces team that breached the hull of the Imperial heavy cruiser Subjugator*. Unlike regular soldiers, Reed's team wore advanced battle suits that made them nearly invisible to Imperial sensors. "Team 2, secure the engine room," Reed ordered as they moved through the corridors. "Team 3, take communications. We need control of this ship in 10 minutes." Imperial soldiers fell before the human attackers, unable to effectively target the fast-moving, semi-invisible boarders. Within minutes, key systems throughout the ship were under human control. Reed reached the bridge and disabled the final security door with a specialized breaching charge. As smoke filled the compartment, his team stormed in, neutralizing the Imperial officers before they could respond. Bridge secured. Reed reported, removing his helmet as his team worked to access the ship's computers. Downloading tactical data now. Throughout the Arcturus junction, similar scenes played out as human boarding teams captured Imperial vessels intact, gathering intelligence and technology that would prove invaluable. When reports of the disaster at Arcturus reached Grand Admiral Thorne, he showed no surprise. They revealed their true fleet strength, he noted calmly, and demonstrated their ability to coordinate complex ambushes. Despite the significant losses, Thorne pushed the main Imperial force forward, deeper into human territory. The Emperor's orders were absolute: advance without delay. But as they approached the inner systems, Thorne sensed they were being drawn into something larger and more dangerous than even he had anticipated. The humans were not retreating in fear. They were falling back in a carefully orchestrated plan, drawing the Imperial fleet towards something. And when the final trap was sprung, not even the Grand Fleet might survive what awaited them. Part 7. The Empire's Reckoning. The massive gas giant Jupiter loomed large in the view screens of the Imperial flagship Eternal Dominion *. Grand Admiral Thorne studied the swirling storms on the planet's surface, sensing the trap that awaited him. The remnants of the once mighty Grand Fleet, now reduced to 320 ships after weeks of constant guerrilla attacks, formed a defensive sphere around his command vessel. This is their final defensive line, Thorne observed quietly. Earth lies beyond. Their homeworld. His tactical officer nodded. Sensors detect significant defenses around the moons. Several large space stations, approximately 60 human warships. Only 60 ships. After all the losses inflicted on the Imperial fleet, the humans appeared to have finally run out of vessels. Victory seemed within reach. Yet Thorne felt uneasy. Throughout this campaign, the humans had demonstrated meticulous planning and perfect timing. Every retreat had been strategic, every engagement precisely calculated. "It's too easy," he murmured. "They want us to attack." Nevertheless, Emperor Dorne's orders were clear. Advance without hesitation. Destroy the human homeworld. End this threat to Imperial dominance forever. Thorne gave the order. All ships, battle formation. Begin the assault. Admiral Walker stood in the command center of Jupiter Defense Station Alpha, watching as the Imperial fleet approached. Around him, human officers worked calmly at their stations, monitoring systems and coordinating with the defense fleet. "They've taken formation exactly as predicted," reported his tactical officer. Walker nodded. "Thorne is cautious, but he's still coming. The Emperor has given him no choice." He opened a channel to all human forces in the system. "This is Admiral Walker. The moment we've prepared for has arrived. For 30 years, we've watched. We've planned. We've built. Today, we fight not just for humanity, but for every species the Empire has oppressed." He paused, looking at the display showing the advancing Imperial Armada. "Execute final protocol. Now." Grand Admiral Thorne was watching the forward screens when it happened. Space itself seemed to fold and ripple all around the Imperial fleet. Where there had been empty vacuum seconds before, thousands of human warships now appeared, surrounding the Imperial forces completely. "Impossible," breathed his first officer. "Our sensors detect over 3,000 vessels. They can't have hidden a fleet that size." But they had. Using their advanced stealth technology, humanity had positioned their entire war fleet in a perfect spherical formation around the Imperial invasion force. And they were not alone. Among the human vessels were ships of designs Thorne had never seen before, the combined forces of all the species the Empire had thought conquered or exterminated, races that humanity had rescued and sheltered for decades. "Admiral," his communications officer called out, voice shaking, "we're receiving a transmission from the human flagship." Admiral Walker's face appeared on screen, calm and resolute. "Grand Admiral Thorne," Walker said formally, "your fleet is surrounded. Your supply lines are cut. There will be no reinforcements." Thorne's face remained impassive, though inside he finally understood. The entire campaign, The evacuated planets, the strategic retreats, the carefully measured resistance, had all been to draw the Empire's greatest fleet into this perfect trap. "You've planned this well, Admiral Walker," Thorne acknowledged. Walker nodded slightly. "We didn't want this war, Admiral. The Empire forced it upon us and countless other peaceful species, but we're going to end it." On cue, the human fleet and their allies activated their weapon systems. Thousands of targeting locks engaged simultaneously. Thorne knew the Empire's defeat when he saw it. No force could escape this trap. No miracle would save them now. In his throne room, Emperor Dorn watched the tactical display with growing horror as the true size of the human fleet became clear. His greatest armada, trapped, his legendary admiral, outmaneuvered. And worse news was arriving by the minute. Throughout Imperial space, conquered worlds were rising in rebellion. Subject species, sensing the Empire's vulnerability, had chosen this moment to break free of Imperial control. Walker's voice continued, now broadcasting not just to Thorne, but to every world in Imperial space. "The Empire has a choice. Withdraw from all conquered territories. Recognize the sovereignty of all sentient species. End your policy of expansion and subjugation, or face complete destruction, not just here, but across the galaxy." Thorne looked at the overwhelming force arrayed against him. In all his centuries of service to the Empire, he had never faced such a situation. But he was still a soldier, sworn to the Emperor. "And if we refuse?" he asked, already knowing the answer. Walker's expression remained unchanged. "Then we finish this. Here. Now. And the galaxy will know that it was humanity who finally brought down the Empire that terrorized the stars for 1,000 years." The bridge of the asterisk, Eternal Dominion asterisk, fell silent as Thorne contemplated the options before him. The Empire had never negotiated, never compromised, never surrendered. But as he looked at the thousands of ships surrounding his fleet, human and alien alike, united against Imperial tyranny, Thorne realized that the age of the Empire had come to its end. A new era was dawning in the galaxy, and it had begun the moment humanity's war fleet emerged from the void.